Parenting without tears. Just what I was looking for.
Parenting without tears. I've got my copy. Get yours now.
Welcome to this week's edition of Universal Parenting Clinic. On this show today, I'll be discussing why it is important to be flexible in parenting. Yes, some form of flexibility will go along with proper parenting. There are times in your parenting life when you should be flexible, and as a matter of fact, it is not advisable to be too rigid when dealing with kids, because sometimes you may have reasonable grounds to shift positions. The needs of children nowadays, the experience and their social demands may be different from your personal experience, and sometimes you may be wrong, or the child may give convincing reasons to justify a shift of ground, decision, opinion, and action. If you need to be flexible, please do. Be flexible. Be a considerate parent. Whatever you do, avoid extremism. Be considerate with your child. Let actions, tasks, punishments, and so on be in considerable measures and proportions to the age and circumstances of each child. Put the choices on the table. Children sometimes want to be in charge of their affairs. They sometimes want to have their say and even their ways. Sometimes you may need to let go if it's okay and reasonable to do so. But where you need to stand your ground, always put better options on the table, supported with reasons. Even though this may sometimes be tough, and tough decisions must be made sometimes too. I'm not in any way suggesting or advocating that your child should always have his or her way. No. As most children will always want, that's not what I'm advocating today. And I'm definitely not saying you should be a yes dad or yes mom. But in reality, there will be times when you need to be flexible reasonably. Yes, you must be the parent and stand your ground most of the times, especially because many times you will be confronted with very important decisions that must be made in the overall interest of the child, which the child is not matured and wise enough to understand, and several decisions that must be made contrary to the desire of the child, so he or she can achieve the desired goals and escape dangers and failures in life. Yet, there will still be times when your flexibility will dictate that you listen to the child before taking a decision, or that you engage with your child to understand his or her input to that decision. There will be moments in your parenting life when facts and more understanding or revelations will dictate that you should stop or change a particular line of action or direction. At such moments, please exercise wise discretion and flexibility. Don't insist on being rigid. Don't insist on having it your way. Friends may appeal to you. Your spouse may appeal to you. Relations may advise you. Or it may be just an independent or unrelated circumstances that presents another angle to that issue, and which gives you another opportunity to reflect. Please give proper consideration to your line of thought and action. Think of the consequences and possible outcome. If you need to disengage, then please disengage. If you need to modify, please modify the line of action. And if you need to stop, please stop. Don't insist on being right or pursuing that line of action merely because you have said it, or merely because you want it done that way.
Parenting without tears. Just what I was looking for.
Parenting without tears. I've got my copy. Get yours now.
Make sure the child is carried along while taking certain vital decisions from certain age too, depending on maturity but with wisdom. Guide him or her to the right choices without appearing to be imposing. But yes, there will be times of impositions when that will be in the overall best interest of the child, and such times are going to be numerous. Teach him to trust you to do the best for him and for his good. However, there are times when it will be reasonable to turn a blind eye to minor issues or faults. With reasonable maturity, I have no doubt that you will understand what I'm saying. There are times when you may need to reason with the child and change your stand after he has provided reasonable explanation, or when you are convinced that the child has learnt his lessons. Age will help to determine the level of flexibility, and the type of children that you have will also determine what you need to do and how to be flexible with each child. Being unnecessarily rigid and maintaining a wrong position is not a good approach in parenting. There may be times when you will just laugh and shake your head. There will be times when you have to just point out to the child immediately or later that you disapprove of certain actions and would have punished him or her, but we let it go for just that once. Then let him or her know the possible consequences of a repeat performance of similar action in the future. It's not in all cases that you will insist on your line of action and desires being final and irreversible. Parenting will not favor the irreversible principle all the time. Yes, some of the times, but not all of the times. Sometimes in life, you may need to be flexible reasonably. The nature of the issues involved and the decision involved too, the age of the child, will be a good guide in determining your stance. If a reversal will not cause any major negative consequences, then the possibility of occasional reversal may be easier than when grievous harm or consequences may occur as a result of your flexibility, in which case your adherence to your strict decision may be justified. For instance, if you collect your child's phone as a form of punishment and he has discharged the mistake for which you decided to punish him, if he also pleads for the opportunity to use the phone for something important, you may decide to hold on to the phone for additional 1 hour instead of keeping it till the next day. He must have realized his mistake and learned certain lessons already. However, if your decision is that he will not be allowed to go to a group outing because some characters with criminal tendencies will be in attendance, then you may be justified in being rigid at such instance. It's your judgment call, but make a reasonable and wise call. When the occasion demands flexibility, please be flexible. Thanks to our numerous friends on Facebook who regularly watches our show passionately every week. Thanks also to those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel freely. Thanks to those who have bought their copy of the book, Parenting Without Tears. I also thank those of you that are regularly pressing the thumb up button and those who ensure they leave comments after watching our YouTube shows always and on Facebook, and those who also make sure they send feedbacks to us regularly too. I do hope sincerely that you too will join this group of people today. Please subscribe now, share, and follow us too on other social media platforms. That's the show this week on Universal Parenting Clinic. I believe strongly that through this Universal Parenting Clinic and with proper understanding of the book Parenting Without Tears, Together, we all can promote wellness in families and in the world. We can stop the tears from children, parents, and families. We can kick racism, fraud, incivility, corruption, wickedness, several addictions, violence, and the series of antisocial behaviors out of all families and the whole world. And at the same time, we can promote all the positive desires and aspirations towards the well-being of the children, parents, and the world at large. Till I come your way again next week, by God's grace, I am the parenting advocate in the house, Michael Gbenga Bibilari, MGB, Mr. Parenting. Maintain reasonable flexibility in parenting. Think parenting. Be positive in parenting. Talk parenting. Be passionate about parenting. Don't just be a parent. Stop posturing. Be a responsible parent. A real parent. A parent indeed. Parent well.